Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for GOT. This week is Season 3, Episode 9, The Reigns of Castamere. Alright, so just got finished watching the episode. Definitely have to do my weekly review of it and just give my reaction, because what an insane episode this was. I want to say right off the bat, this review will contain spoilers. Major, heavy, serious series spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode yet, please don't watch this review. I don't want to be the one to spoil it for you. Okay, everybody else, I assume, has seen the episode. I'm going to try to do this review, and I'm going to try to do it in such a way where I don't sound like a troll. I don't want to sound like a troll. It's just that the way this episode made me feel was, oh, so bad, man. So bad. So I was watching it up until about 40 minutes through, and I was like, okay, this episode's pretty good. There's some good action scenes. There's lots of stuff happening. It does kind of feel like a season finale, like we're getting to the season finale, because we only have one more episode to go, and this season is over till next season. So I'm like, at first I was like, it doesn't really feel like a season finale, and then after, as we got going, we started to see some more action, some more things happening, some important things, and I'm like, okay, this is a season finale right here. So I was like, oh, this is going to be like a 7 out of 10, let's say, a good episode, And then the end comes. Now, if you've read A Song of Ice and Fire, the books, or if you just looked up, the fated characters online, or just kind of skipped through them, you already knew what was coming or what was going to happen. But to see it play out, and also because in the TV series they expanded on Talisa, gave her more of a backstory, gave her more reason. She says they're going to name the baby Eddard, all these things. You're just like watching, like, oh, that's so beautiful, that's so amazing, it's wonderful, everything looks so great. And oh my God, the ending of this episode, wow. I have to say, and I'm not a hater, I'm not a troll, but I like the show. I care about the characters in the show, and I like the show. I've been following it since the first season, watched every single episode at least once, twice. Most of them I've seen at least twice from the first 2 seasons, and most of the 3rd season I've seen twice over now. I have to say this is the most unjust thing I've ever seen in a TV series or a movie or any medium I've ever seen. This one right here felt like, if you're a fan of the Starks, it just rips your heart out. It rips your heart out to watch this. And I have to say, I kid you not, this is the worst episode of a TV series I've ever seen. It's not badly done. It's not that maybe I'm being unfair by saying it's the worst episode ever. The way it made me feel as a viewer made me feel like, to like this show, to like Game of Thrones, you have to be a masochist. you have to enjoy, hurting yourself, because you grow to like these characters, and then you see what happens, man. I mean, it was traumatizing. The end of this episode, this was the most traumatizing thing. This was worse than the first season. This was worse than what happened to Eddard. I mean, this was terrible, to see this play out, and Walder Frey and everything, while his evil, ugly ass is laughing and everything. Oh my gosh, man. I still haven't come down from it, because I just finished watching it. But, it's just like, oh, wow. So I'll do a review of the episode as I normally do. We'll go through it. So at the beginning, we've got Rob. He's asking for his mother's advice, Catelyn's advice. He's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. What does he do? He's facing Tywin, who is basically the most powerful man in all of Westeros. His name is so, I want to say feared, not admired, feared, that people all around are affected by his aura. Okay, he has such a presence that people, like other lords and other powerful people in Westeros, like Walder Frey, like Bolton, like all these other people, their actions will be influenced just by his name and how much fear people have for Tywin. So, I mean, the story makes sense. Like, realistically, it makes sense that it would go this way and that everything would happen this way. You know, Rob basically had one chance. He probably wasn't going to win anyway, even if he had married one of Walder Frey's daughters. Walder Frey, he had to know that you're facing Tywin. Didn't he say originally that it won't matter when Tywin Lannister rolls in? So, you know, so again, it's that whole presence and aura that other people will just side with Tywin and won't want to rebel against the throne, even if they know that Joffrey's not a rightful king, just out of fear for what would happen to them if they lose. It's not worth the risk to them. So, I mean, realistically, story-wise, it makes sense that the author, you know, Martin would go this route. It does make sense. But it's like watching a catastrophe. It's like watching a car crash. It's just, it's brutal, brutal. And you feel for Arya because she's on the outside and she's trying to get in to see her family, and there's really nothing left to see. I mean, not really. You know, I mean, most of her family is either you've got a few surviving members of what was once the most powerful one of the more powerful families in all of Westeros, maybe the second or third most powerful at one time. Yeah. So he asks her advice, and Catelyn basically says, you know, it really is their only shot. They can't just go back to Winterfell and act like nothing happened. You know, it's one of those types of things. Rob's kind of shot himself in the foot with some of the actions he's made, especially with the Karstark men, having them all abandon him because of what he did after what's his name? I forget the guy who he beheaded a couple episodes ago. But you guys know who I'm talking about. Okay, so then you have Rob meets Walder Frey, and he meets Talisa. Daenerys had some pretty cool scenes here. I mean, it wasn't really her. It was, you know, Barristan and Mormont, Jorah, and her leader of the Unsullied, and they're all like pretty good action sequences. They're killing those other slaves inside the city, and they're taking that city for her. So that was all pretty good. I mean, we could have seen maybe some more bigger battles in that. Definitely could have added some of those in, which would have been cool to see. They don't show us a lot, too many huge battles like that in Game of Thrones. Whenever they do, like Blackwater, it's an event. I wish they would do it more, but it is extremely hard to do. It is costly, you know, it blows up the budget, everything like that, because you got to do all the effects and have tons of actors and extras involved with the fighting and everything, but it was pretty good. I would say it's bad. It was pretty good, but it was kind of small compared to Blackwater and things like that. But we can't expect to always see stuff like that all the time. Then we had some cool scenes between the Hound and Arya. Just a lot of funny banter back and forth between the two of them that I enjoyed quite a bit. And you do get the sense, too, that the Hound, he is doing it for money, too, but you get the sense that he's also trying to kind of protect her, because he does feel bad for her to some extent, especially at the end there. You know, he could have just ditched her and just left, but he brought her back with him because he knew what had happened, and that her family's basically freaking cursed, you know, brutal. So yeah, you get that sense from watching and everything that's, you know, she's worth it, but also at the same time that, you know, he does maybe genuinely care about her a little bit as time goes on. Although we'll see what happens in the future. That may change. Okay. So that was all fun. The Jon Snow action sequences were really good. Those really felt like a season, you know, season finale type stuff. Really great as he kind of turns back towards the crows when he gets the opportunity and kills that bastard asshole ward that keeps bothering him. You get Bran had a pretty cool scene where he was able to knock out Hodor and take control of those wolves and really mess up some of the wildlings to help Jon. And Lord Edmure gets married, and I mean, that's basically, you got Lord Bolton in there. The Lannisters send their regards, you prick. And everything else that just happened with the whole Rob Stark, Catelyn Stark. So that basically takes the Starks almost completely out of the story in terms of they have no power anymore. They've been beheaded basically completely. They have no, you know, I mean, Catelyn, she's feisty, she's fighty, but they have no, like what do they have now? They have nothing. They've been reduced to basically nothing at this point. Yeah, wow. So even though I think most of us, after reading or watching, whichever you were exposed to first, the first season of Game of Thrones, or the first book of Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones, you would have wanted to see, I think, from a story perspective as a fan, you would have really liked to see the Starks sort of get revenge on the Lannisters, come back against them to be able to just, bring justice to the situation. I mean, that's the kind of story that I think most people enjoy. Your happy ending type thing. Even though there was that severely unjust thing that happened to Ned, to see Rob come back and be victorious against the Lannisters, let's say, and it would feel like justice. It would. To see what happened now is kind of like, I asked myself the question like 5 times. I'm like, do I like this show? I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I mean, there's so many things about it I liked. Like last season with Stannis and Blackwater and Daenerys has got lots of cool stuff going on. There's lots of great fight scenes and lots of things happening, which is exciting to watch and it's fun. But can I say that I like the storyline? Like, can I say that this is something that I would recommend to people? And I'd have to say at this point that if I was recommending to someone who has never watched the series, who has never read the books or anything, at this point, after seeing this, I would have to tell them, if you're not a masochist, don't watch it, because this show is going to make you depressed at this point. I have to say, I mean, it is realistic, and that's the world. I get that. I totally am on board with that. I get it. But it just feels so wrong, and it feels like it's so wrong that you just want to be like rejection of the series. You know what I mean? Like rejection of Game of Thrones overall. Just reject it. I mean, I'm probably going to keep watching and keep reviewing it. Like we got one more episode this season, and I've been reviewing and watching it all the way since the beginning of the first season. Reviewing it since the second, watching it since the first. And I will do next week's because it's the end of the season. One more episode left, episode 10, and then we're done. But like, how can I score this? Like after watching it and how traumatizing and brutal this episode is, I'd have to say I disagree with the writing. Even though it makes sense and it's realistic to the real world, it feels authentic, Man, yeah, I would have to say that I cannot recommend this series to anyone, especially after seeing an episode like tonight's episode. It's just traumatizing, just absolutely traumatizing to watch it. I mean, can I give it a 0 out of 10? I mean, I guess, okay, from a technical point of view, I guess it's all done well and everything like that, and I guess you can give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. I guess is probably a fair score. But when you put your feelings involved with that, if you were a fan of the Starks, not everybody is, I get that. Not everybody likes the Starks. But it's shot from a point of view that I can't see how anyone really wouldn't like the Starks. Like, it seems like everybody would, and then what just keeps happening to them as the series goes on, it makes you care about them, just to seem to kill them, just to seem to, say, screw you, audience. I get that feeling. I get that feeling where it's like F you to all the readers, F you to the audience. That's the thing I get about it. It's like I put all this time and invested all of this into watching this series, hoping to see Rob get revenge on the Lannisters and do that and feel that great story and that yes he did it thing. I can't recommend this series to anyone. I'm sorry, especially after you invest the time in. I'm sorry. I got to do my reviews honestly. Some people will hate on my channel. They'll comment. They'll say, you suck. Stop doing Game of Thrones reviews, whatever. I'll probably keep reviewing the series, and I'll probably keep watching it. But I'd have to say that I can't recommend it to anyone, because I think again, I got to ask myself the question, is it a good series? I gave it a unbiased and feelings aside, 7 out of 10, I guess. But based on when you put the feelings in, you consider the things I talked about with the plot and the story, from like a classic story perspective and how you would make your audience feel, even if it's realistic, I would give it like a 0 out of 10 because I think it's the worst episode of any series I've ever seen. It makes you want to stop watching the show completely. Even though you've invested all this time, even though all these great things have happened in the series, and there's lots of great characters and all kinds of stuff happening, this episode's like an FU to the audience. I really feel that way. I do. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm not going to quit, but I can see if a lot of people are going to stop watching the show and turn on the show and say, F it, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm not watching it anymore, period. If you're one of those people, please write in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you if you're going to quit watching the series. If you're going to keep watching, but at the same time you feel like it was just traumatizing to watch, please let me know as well. I'd like to hear from you too. And I'd also like to hear if you're a person that just doesn't give a shit. You know, it's like, I never really liked the Starks that much anyway. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I like the Lannisters. I don't care. I don't care about the Starks. Whatever. I guess I would just like to hear from everybody. What did you think about this episode? How did it make you feel? How do you feel since you've invested so much time watching the series up to this point? Do you feel like you just got, I don't know, robbed or something? I feel robbed. Somebody took my wallet. Where's my wallet? I better call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying, I'm going to cry myself to sleep. Peace.